competition isn't as great as it used to be, it still takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, and Violent and MM are worthy contenders in my book to have to practice a lot if you want to win.
Right. Well, Parrotman just got himself destroyed there by Fighter and Meek together. Nice teamwork, excellent skills there. Fighter, it was interesting, was pushing off DZ with his singles, and Meek dropped a nice nade to pin Sebek into the corner, and Fighter just came in raging.
Yeah, somehow, using your nades that way to help your teammates is a great form of teamwork. It's hard to do, but if you get it right, you can really do a lot of damage that way.
And that links into exactly what you're saying is, the team aspect and playing together and practicing a lot together gives you a better understanding of each other as teammates and how you play to be able to make those plays together.
I know, and what happens a lot is a lot of players like CaDF, for example, or Violent, they're all on Mumble or Vent or whatever, talking to each other, and they're probably saying, hey, do you have a nade? I have a nade. And they're probably syncing it that way. I remember before I even used Vent while I played, because I used to think it was distracting, my teammates and I would do it automatically. We would just do it on the fly. We would just know if we had a nade or not.
See, and that's amazing to be able to get to that level. Correct me if I'm wrong, that takes years of playing together.
Yeah, sometimes you can just kind of tell when somebody has a nade or not, and it's kind of hard to explain. Usually people get a lot closer to their opponents because they feel more confident in dealing with a close-up situation, knowing that they have a nade.
Well, I would have thought when it comes to you that it would be more like sort of a woman's intuition thing, right?
I don't know, well, you could just kind of tell by the way that people position themselves.
Yeah, well, it's almost like poker in a sense. It adds to the strategy of the game, is you really have to know your players. CaDF is definitely making some headway here. They've dropped off of the passive nature at all, and they're really pushing here.
Yeah, I don't think they have the health to pull this off, but they're definitely doing a lot of damage. I think what they're going to try to do is just try to do as much damage as they possibly can before they die.
Puffball's full. If Parrotman takes a kill out of here, then he'd be almost full. And you've got Sebek, who's just brand new out of the box.
I don't know. They're taking a lot of damage right now.
Are they? I was down paying attention to Sebek. Yeah, this is good. Now,
yeah,
I was going to say it. No, he shouldn't. If he had let himself get killed by Fighter,
yep,
yeah, it would have been great.
They would have been set up for the next play perfect. They would all respawn full health, and there's a nice run attempt right there. But
exactly.
Sometimes you just get caught up in the moment, and you just kill it, But sometimes you just get caught up in those moments. I don't know.
Right? No, I can totally understand that. It makes perfect sense. Far just really impressed me there.
With that bouncy, yeah.
Well, two of them. Exactly the same position. Both of those bouncies hit. It was a beautiful play.
And it's the best thing he could do. He knew that he was going to end up dying soon. Because you don't want to die too close to your own base. And so he just did as much damage as he could before he died. And now he's going to respawn when people are a little bit closer. But at this point, it won't be that big of a deal, I don't think.
Right. He's going to get a respawn up here, probably on the back corner. Yeah. Perfect respawn.
Yep.
Great timing, too. I mean, it worked out very well.
Yeah.
Well, taking a look at the action up top, CaDF, Parrotman, and DZ are both going back against Fighter and Meek. It seems to me Fighter and Meek have proven themselves a very good team composition here.
Absolutely.
In this match so far.
I haven't seen Fighter on so much. Maybe, I think, you know what? I bet you anything that Fighter smurfs a lot, because I never see him on his Fighter lane.
Right. Wow.
Great teamwork right there.
Very nice. Now, is Meek going to make the choice to stick around, and Terror's smoked? He knows something's going on here.
Well, what Meek did was, I don't know if you saw that right there.
He switched.
Swapped with Terror, exactly.
Yeah.
Because base is your priority, and you know his teammate was smoked staying base down low, so he just swapped down to the single person who was up high, which is a good thing to do. Which, you know, not enough clans do that. It's rare that you find people actually doing that, but to swap like that and to recognize when to swap that way is a great thing to do.
Now, Fighter was torn for a minute there on whether or not to go down and help out with base and DZ and Sebek, or I guess then Parrotman started popping out of the box.
Big range fire there.
What was that?
Oh, Fire just smoked Sebek with a great nade.
Nice.
DZ going for the missile, but he missed.
Alright, well, DZ and Sebek just took care of Far and Meek in pretty close succession, so the question is, are they going to come back up and rape, or DZ's going for the flag and Sebek's going to help rape?
I don't know, it's a tough call.
Well, it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but, you know, it could be dangerous for DZ. If DZ is left alone for too long, he can get raped and die, so Sebek needs to come back and help him as soon as possible.
It looks like he's, oh, very nice. Yeah, they don't have the health to do this, do they? With Parrotman and Puffball smoking?
No, absolutely not.
No.
It was a good death by DZ, because if a bunch of reds spawned outside and went to flag, and then purposely didn't kill green, that would be just bad news for CaDF right there. So DZ should have died in that spot.
Well, Sebek is definitely looking like he's picking up his game here.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's got to be somewhat happy.
I feel like Sebek should have helped DZ inside of his base, inside of red base, I should say. You know, he's trying to escape this rape right now. He's backpedaling.
So instead of coming up and trying to triangle rape them, he would have been better to just...
Correct. Because, you know, his team was taking their time, and it didn't look like that red was going to be right high. So I think he, you know, if red receded back inside their base to rape Sebek and DZ, then maybe I would understand why he would go back and try to rape them quick. But they weren't. They were leaving them alone. So at that moment, I would have left them alone.
Now, it also, I mean, once a flag is picked up, if you can get that flag picked up, it almost does something mentally to the other team when you see flag has been picked up, and sort of changes their momentum, changes their focus, distract them a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, people tend to do that a lot. When you hear that the other team picked up your flag, you always kind of think to yourself, well, how bad is base? Is it really that bad? Do they really have it? Or, you know, it just makes you a little distracted. So I definitely think there is some type of mental aspect to picking up the enemy flag.
Well, I'm going to pass away from DZ and Sebek up there. Puffball is trying to hold off Meek and Terror now.
Yeah, if green could kind of keep red low, yeah, see, that was a great spawn by Parrotman, so they're going to be pushed back immediately.
Right.
Your goal here, as green team down low, is to keep red away from, I don't know what we call that obstacle there with the pipe in the middle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You really don't want red to go past that line down low. You just want to stop them from that. So it looks like that they're pushing forward, though, down low, which is hard to do. You don't really have a lot of space.
Yeah, it is. It does seem to be a very dangerous area. Parrotman taking a couple of hits from Terror here, and he's smoked. Puffball ran up to help rape.
nice rape on the fighter right there.
Yeah, and it worked.
I think you have two CADFs that are smoked right now, so I really don't see this attempt going anywhere.
Spec is just holding off on that spawn point.
Yeah, he was too close to the spawn if you wanted to camp it. It's too
Right.
dangerous to be that close to a spawn when you camp it. He should have stayed a little bit farther back. Fighter spiked a little bit there.
Yeah, we
saw that.
even Far, I think, spiked a little.
And only shared connection.
DZ taking advantage of Far's lag. I know Puffball didn't want Terror to get that kill. So you're talking about this position right here where they're holding them off?
Yep. You really want to just prevent them from going in. Now, in my opinion, as red team, I hate putting two people low here. I think it's too hard to push there. A lot of players will disagree with me, but I would much rather prefer having 3 reds up high here and 1 red down low.
Well, it is such a small area to maneuver in for 2 ships.
Yep.
And not a lot of area to crossfire.
Exactly, and you're passing through tiny little corridors.
Well, now V's going to start trying to pull back. I guess in this case, the longer V can stall them, the better.
I don't know. I spoke to Meek the other day, and he said that they weren't gunning for the tie. They said that they wanted to win. So, I believe that they're going to stick to that, and they're going to try to win this game. I don't think they want to just hold it as a tie.
Good point.
And I'm sure that CADF is going for the win too, so it should be an interesting game for the rest of the game. I mean, we have about 14 minutes left.
Yeah, that's correct.
CADF could make a pretty decent push here if they play it right. They need to find somebody isolated, and they need to just rape them quick. Once they're up 4 versus 3, they can take advantage of that that number advantage, and then get a good attempt. But right now, as long as it's 4 versus 4 side of the red base, Violent will have the advantage in this position.
Right. Now, I've heard you say it before that that red is a very defensive base.
It is, and it used to be a lot worse before the additions. It's not as defensive as it used to be, so it's a little bit better, but still compared to green base, it is easier to defend than green, even with the new additions.
Gotcha. Puffball wasn't really able to do that much there.
In the old map, I don't know